Hello and welcome to this video where I'm just chatting about the Reds. Going to be looking at how the lads are getting on at the Euros and the Copa America, and I'll be answering some questions that you graciously sent over. Cards on the table. I'm not going to have any clips or footage or anything like that on this one. I'm trying to just get better at just talking and that being enough. So I'm just going to talk at yous in a way, but hopefully you're actually interested in what I have to say. It's not like when I talk at home where I talk at my family and they could not care. They could not care less about Liverpool. And now that I have this platform, they shut it down straight away. Whereas previously, before this video, I would talk to my wife. We'll just call her my wife. She would entertain me for 20 seconds and then be like, "All right, that's enough." Whereas now it's like, tell it to your YouTube friends. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Right. First I need some water. First I want to talk about Darwin Nunez, who, it is just so wonderful to see him scoring goals for Uruguay. Going mad. Yes. He's scoring hat-tricks a couple of weeks ago. I think I've seen a stat where it's like he scored in the last 7 games for Uruguay. I just love him. It's bordering on an obsession at this point. Someone asked about his goal record in the comments. Like, can you talk about Darwin Nunez's goal record? And I looked at it and I'm like, he's 33 goals in 96 games for Liverpool. Like, what, 1 in 3? And 17 assists. Now, granted, his record in the league is probably closer to 1 in 4. I think if it wasn't for the fact that he just misses some big chances, you could not say shit about Darwin Nunez. And why do I feel the need to say the full name? Darwin Nunez. Darwin. And anyway, so his record for Uruguay is 12 in 24, something like that. Average is 1 in 2. I just love it. Is it just like, and there was another question of like, why is he so prolific for Uruguay? Now, granted, the teams Uruguay are playing are not going to be as good as Premier League level teams, let's face it, unless they come up against Argentina or Brazil. So, that helps. Also, he's at home, you know what I mean? Who doesn't, it's like working from home, You work in the office, you're putting on a bit of an office persona. You're working from home, it's like, I can do this fucking job in my sleep without you idiots annoying me. And I think, just like I was saying before in a previous video, when he goes to Uruguay, he just looks so fucking happy. So like, it's a lot of pressure living and playing in England. Granted, he's on a lot of money. Liverpool fans love him, but I feel like he can just mentally switch off. He doesn't have to think about the English. He doesn't have to try and understand. It's just proof that you keep him happy, he'll make you happy. And if I was Arne Slot, which I am most certainly not, I would be building my team around him. That's blasphemy to some of you. To you right now who thinks that's blasphemy, it's not blasphemy. Give him a chance. Give him another chance. It's just more fun. It's just more fun when he's there. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who bought the Darwin Nunez t-shirt that I made. There's a link down below if you want to have a look. Who else can we talk about? Diaz, also in the Copa America. I'll get to the Euros, by the way. Diaz in the Copa America. I haven't seen too much, to be honest, of it. I seen him do a nice silky bit of skill and cross the ball in. I kind of feel bad for Diaz that, like, he's had a fucking. Imagine your dad gets kidnapped. Imagine both your parents get kidnapped. Your mom gets released early, but your dad's there for weeks. You think I'm going to be able to play football well? I'm not blaming that for his lack of end product this year, But it happened. It shows that, like, with strikers, like with Nunez or with any striker, if you're happy and you're content and, all these things are in a row, then you play well. Your finishing dramatically improves. So you can't take away from the fact that Diaz is only a few months out from his dad being recovered. Like, the whole country of Colombia was aware of the story. The world was aware of the story, actually. Like that's, and then his dad finally gets released. You're like, is my like what's? Imagine your dad's been held captive, and like you're just sitting there like, what's happening to him right now? You know, all these like that would just take such a strain on you and your ability to do any job, let alone high pressure football. I kind of gave Diaz a pass this year, and I kind of feel like it's a little bit unfair that people are already kind of writing him off. Yep, sell Diaz. Who would we sell? Diaz. We get money for him. Stick Gakpo on the left. You know, I probably would like to try Gakpo on the left, but I just kind of feel like Diaz has been a little bit unfairly written off as like, that's it. He's no end product. Yeah, we're willing to stick with Nunez. Maybe it's the same people who aren't sticking with Nunez who are now saying Diaz can do one. I think now the slot's here. Let's tear up your permanent records. And we're starting from scratch here. You've got Darwin here, who I think Slot will get the best out of. And you've got Diaz. Slot has a history of improving the strikers at the clubs that he's in. And then you've got heel Mo Salah. Good luck. That's all I'll say. First of all, if I may say, I can't put pictures up. I'm trying to just go, me and you. This is just me and you talking here. He looks fucking brilliant with the hair. Even if he didn't get the transplant, he'd still look fucking brilliant with this hair. He looks dangerous. He's still in impeccable shape, and he's hungry. You've seen his tweets or his posts after the season. He wants the trophies. I think he's probably got one more year at Liverpool. I mean, we'll see how that goes. But he is all in. While he's here, he is all in. I wouldn't mind seeing Salah move a little bit more centrally. So I don't know how that would work in a slot system. Maybe I'll ask. I think I'll be having Sai from the Liverpool fan in Japan on in a couple of weeks. I'll ask him about that. He knows that sort of stuff. Anyway, what questions did you ask me here? Transfer news. There's only one transfer that excites me, and that's Ricardo Calafiori, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's not just because he's a handsome bastard. I'm a straight man as well. I mean, this shouldn't be a factor, but it is. That hair. Forget it. A young colossus. How weird is it, by the way, that I'm even saying this about a man who was born when I was 17? It's not fair, is it? He looks class, and I was gonna do a video about him, and then literally that day I was like, looks like Juventus are favourites to sign him. I was like, you fucks. So I tell you what, I've seen everyone linked with him: Spurs, Arsenal, Juventus, and most importantly Real Madrid. Can fuck off. Just fuck off. Alright? I thought it was a dead cert that he's going to Juventus, but apparently there's some issue with Bologna and Juventus. Some, I don't know, transfer. I think it's a bit like a Liverpool United sort of thing. I don't know. But there's a potential issue there. Because I was like, when I heard that, I was like, but Fabrizio Romano, who, like, I don't always take everything he says as gospel, but he seems to think that the team are just accepting that they're not going to hold on to him, and let's let the bidding war start. I'd love to get him. He plays centre back, but he's versatile. He's big. He's talented. He works really hard, and I'd love to see him next to Van Dijk. Granted, look, Kanate would be my on the team we have, or maybe Kwanzaa. No, I still think probably Kanate at the minute. The problem is that he just, he gets injured quite a bit, and Kwanzaa's so young. Calafiori he's the only one that I've seen that I kind of knew a little bit about. Like this is the thing with transfers these days. I was only talking to my mate about this the other day, that like, I remember growing up, people like, Liverpool are linked with such and such, and you'd be like, that'd be amazing. And I'll be honest, I never know who they're talking about until I see a welcome to Liverpool YouTube highlights. I very rarely, because I don't follow much, if any, of the other leagues in Europe. It doesn't have the same like, unless it's like Mbappe or something, who I already made a video about. Said I wouldn't want them anyway, mate. Toxic. What would your formation and starting 11 be out of the current squad? I would like, if Slot is moving to a number 10, a 4-2-3-1 is my classic FIFA formation. That's the formation. If I was a manager, that's what I would do. That's what I know. That's what I play on FIFA. Who would I have in the holding role? That's the question, you know. Endo. I don't want McAllister there. I want McAllister as my 10, if anything. I'd start from the top. Nunez, front and centre. McAllister behind him. Salah on the right. Gakpo on the left. Endo. Trent? Look, I know Trent, obviously, with England, has had, for some reason, his critics. Weird, Conor Gallagher coming in didn't fix the problem. But Trent created the most attacking threats in his little cameos that he's played for England. And he gets hauled off. No one in England runs, except maybe Saka. No one runs for the ball. So what's he supposed to do? You know, that's his whole thing. I'll spot your run from 10 miles away and I'll put it right on your fucking feet. You can't be too careful. I'd like to come deep if it's all the same with you, Trent. Yeah, sounds. Anyway, on the Euros, fucking Gakpo. Get in. I tell you one thing about the Euros. I know I'm kind of all over the place here. I don't like this. A few teams who finish third qualify. Just increase the teams. Give Ireland a chance to get in there, for God's sake, and just let the top two progress. But anyway, I tell you, we only had a fucking quiz in the office yesterday, and one of the questions was how many Liverpool players are at the Euros, and I was like, I've got this. Everyone looked at me. I was like, 7, and the answer was 10, and I lost it. But it's like bollocks. Gravenberg, man, I was going through them all. And then only afterwards I was like, oh yeah, okay. Anyway, I'll finish with this question and then I'll let you go. That's a classic Irish thing, by the way. When I want to go, is it even an Irish thing? Is it a your thing too? Of like, well, look, I'll let you go. I won't keep you. Translation: I'm out of here. Top 5 emotional moments. Barca, 2019. It was emotional in the sense that, like, you know, there's something, just that feeling. Isn't there nothing better than that feeling of like, okay, we got the first goal, then Wijnaldum gets the second, and we did it a lot back then as well. Back then. Of like blitzing teams, and it would be Wijnaldum gets the third then in like 60 seconds after he got the second, and just that feeling of like, we did it again, you know, like, there's nothing better than that feeling. And then Origi, of course, corner taken quickly, but by the end of that I was just like, just couldn't talk. It was one of I think I blew an emotional fuse because I was just like, you know, particularly with the fact that Company scored that fucking thunder bastard against Leicester. We were 3-0 down to Barca at the time. Like, okay, so we're not winning the league either. Great. And we're 3-0 down to to Barcelona. But I was going to say that Messi free kick, Jesus Christ, one of the best free kicks I've ever seen. The prick. We got the last laugh. Istanbul, obviously, that was amazing. Do you know? Not necessarily a good emotion. John Arne Riise scored an own goal in 2008 against Chelsea in the Champions League. If you remember, absolute bullet header into the roof of his own net. And I remember specifically at the time thinking, I just got hot. My body just got hot. I was like, because we were doing so well and hanging on, and I think that was the goal that put us out. And I remember just being like, just thinking, fuck. And probably, honestly, Klopp's leaving is the most emotional I've ever been watching football. I cried a few times as a 30-something year old man. But all of that, and as a manager and the whole thing, him leaving that week, I can't hear that song, You To Me Are Everything, without welling up now. And sometimes I'll just put it on, knowing that this is going to make me well up. And that's the plan. look, thank you for sticking with me on this one. I just, honestly, I needed to get a video out because I've been coming to, the longer I go without releasing the video, the more I overthink. Nah, that's shit. No, what can I say about that? Whereas if I just come on and I just had to get all this out. So the next video will be actually good. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks to everyone again. If you bought a t-shirt, again, the link is below. If you like the look of it, as we get closer to the season, the videos will become a bit more frequent. So I will be back during the week with another video. Thank you so much for the support. And thanks for the questions if you sent them in today. And thanks if you've made it this far and you haven't dropped off. And I will see you in a few days. Up the fucking Reds, I said.